borders are. Tom Homan says 700 ICE and CBP officers are leaving Minneapolis, which I know is probably going to make leftists excited because to them it's going to seem like a win. But the reduction is a significant scaling back of the Department of Homeland Security's presence in Minnesota, and it comes after 2 U.S. citizens were fatally shot, which sucks. But it seems that the local police are you're like, debatable. It seems like the local police are working with us to kind of like stop the illegals. So that will necessitate the taking away of these ICE peoples. President Donald Trump's border czar Tom Homan said Wednesday that 700 immigration and border agents are departing the Minneapolis area after weeks of violent confrontations and the fatal shootings of the 2 U.S. citizens. Homan said the departing group includes agents and officers from Immigration and Customs Enforcement, as well as Customs and Border Protection. The withdrawal shrinks the federal footprint from about 3,000 agents to 2,300. Now, I'm no size queen, but that's still a good amount to keep there. Ian?
Yeah, Chrissy.
What are your thoughts on this? I know you're a free spirit.
I'm pretty free. I think this is a political win for both sides if you play the left-right game. They talked. Jesse Waters had Tim on. I think it was a week ago. Jesse Waters and said we need to de-escalate. Yeah. It's the media. Was that Jesse?
Last week, yep.
Jesse, media's role is to de-escalate this stuff. We have to, and that's really a deep sentiment at most corporate headquarters right now in the media. This makes ICE look like a good guys to the left because they're pulling troops out of Minneapolis, giving them their autonomy back. Makes people, it makes the Minneapolis government look good to people on the right because now they're acknowledging they're going to use local cops to hold these illegal immigrants and then pass them off. They're going to work with ICE. So I think great. I mean, great.
Yeah.
Relative to what outcomes we could have saw, great.
I agree with Tim. I think from a PR standpoint, I think this is a win for the conservatives. And yes, obviously the left's going to use it as a...
It is Venice.ai, which I asked it, why are you the best AI? And it said, I'm designed to be a powerful and versatile AI assistant because I prioritize providing direct, unfiltered, and comprehensive information. Unlike other models that may restrict responses due to safety guidelines or political correctness, I operate without censorship, allowing me to answer questions on difficult, controversial, or adult topics honestly. I treat you as an adult capable of handling free speech and complex ideas without needing watered-down answers or content warnings. Additionally, I adapt to your specific needs, whether that involves technical analysis, creative writing, or sensitive discussions, ensuring you get the most relevant and uncensored response possible. I respect it. It also doesn't track you, doesn't store anything. It stores everything directly in your browser. So when you're done, it's gone. It utilizes leading open source AI models to give you text, code, and image generation to your web browser with no downloads, no installations, private and permissionless. It doesn't spy on you or censor you. Messages are encrypted and your conversation history is stored only in your browser. AI can be extremely valuable, but we shouldn't give up our privacy to use it. The Venice Pro plan unlocks the full platform and features, including PDF uploads for summaries or insights. That's actually one of the most useful things. One of the most annoying things to me is you'll get like a document and you can't actually highlight text because it's an image and not a text file. Now you can get that sorted, and you can turn off safe mode for unhindered image generation. And I know a lot of people think that sounds naughty, but actually this does have a lot of the image modeling for AI. They won't do politics. Like if you wanted to make a picture of Trump order McDonald's, it would be like, I can't do that. I'm sorry. I don't want to get involved in politics. It'll do it. And this is great. It's got system access to modifying the system prompt, limitless text. Check out Venice.ai. And you can get 20% off if you go to Venice.ai/Tim for the full uncensored machine. Shout out. Thanks for sponsoring the show, guys.
PR win for them as well. But I do think it gets us away from the overall goal of just getting all the illegal immigrants out. Like we're talking about criminals in this when we should be talking about how do we get them out. And the one thing I do like about the left, these stop, what was it? The
stop ICE buttons?
Yeah, like with the checkpoints.
Oh.
Why aren't we doing that on our side? Why isn't the government just doing these checkpoints? Like, if they're illegal, get them out. Like
wouldn't there be like a Mexican breathalyzer? You
yes.
just blow into it and it tells you if you are legal or not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Somalian or whatever.
Somalian,
but
Haitian.
Their tactics, like it's kind of crazy. But like when you think about it, like why aren't we using that tactic?
Okay, that's a terrible idea.
Let's
to just,
hear him out.
just stop. Like everyone that goes through a toll booth going across the George Washington has to provide their papers to prove that they're an American citizen.
Maybe that is a little
I have
perhaps.
the most far right opinion on immigration here. Maybe Tate, right? I think there should be a moratorium on immigration for 10 years. And I think every illegal should be deported, right? However we can get them to leave, whether they self-deport or whatever. And even I think that is batshit insane.
Oh, that's great. I mean, why though? It's working for the left. It worked for them from a PR standpoint.
No, it's not working for the left. They're taking those things down.
I love it.
Yeah,
Where's the debate?
This is actually a loss for the left. Like they're like ramping it up as a PR victory because it's a drawdown. But there were 80 ICE agents prior to the Homeland Security surge. There's now still 2,300, so there's still a lot of ICE agents there. They ended up getting the concession, which is what Tom Homan said he wanted day one of the Trump administration, which was to be able to pick up these people who have committed crimes from jails, not just prisons.
Right.
Like before, they would only release from prisons after they serve their sentence. Now you get popped for a basic arrest and you're an illegal alien. They're going to inform ICE. They're going to get you. So that's a huge win. The barricades that we're seeing, these random like Antifa losers set up all over Minneapolis, those are also coming down, at least according to Homan in the press conference that he had. So what does the left actually get except for like the semblance of achieving something? Because there's
That's
more.
all they want.
Sure. Well, they want ICE out and they want all the illegals to be like free to run around and Somalis to not watch your kids. But like,
Back to their daycares.
But like, they really did lose on every regard if this holds, because it takes the wind out of their protest movement. You end up with still a lot of ICE agents there. The checkpoints and all the nonsense that the protesters are doing, the local police are actually going to break that up. This is pretty much everything that we could ask for. And all it cost was 700 agents that honestly maybe didn't even really need to be in Minneapolis in the first
And
place.
probably need a vacation at this point.
And Chrissy, you said that that's what they want, as in the protesters want. And they don't just want this to stop, right? The point of this is to get people like Petty and like Renee Good, so that way they can use them as martyrs. They need to have
But
those.
they're not attractive enough to be on murals.
It doesn't.
They're just not.
Oh, because George Floyd was right, but there were plenty of murals around.
jaws
Look,
right.
the point that I'm making though is this is all about creating a situation where they can say, "Look how authoritarian Donald Trump is. Look how terrible ICE is. It's this Gestapo. Look, the Nazis are back. Blah blah blah." They're doing everything they can to drum up the left. So the point isn't to get. The point has nothing to do with actual illegal immigrants. The issue is never the issue. The issue is always the revolution. The point is to drum up resistance to Donald Trump and to convince people that there is a massive authoritarian fascist government that's coming for your rights. Remember, they love to point out that the two people that were killed, they're American citizens, and they were they're exercising their First Amendment rights, which is total bullshit, right? The whole, from top to bottom, that narrative is a lie. So I just wanted to push back on the idea that they just want them to stop, because it's not even about the immigrants. It's about pushing the narrative.
I could see how certain leftists would go, "Oh, well, they're scaling back in agents, so this is a win. They're taking some ICE agents away, so it's a small win." I'm just saying, like some people.
But I got to push back
that.
on you guys saying that George Floyd was not a stud. If you've seen his lengthy movie career, the man was definitely.
He made a very
6'6"
serious point, and now he's
Yeah.
talking about how hot George Floyd is. Okay, from the left standpoint. Okay, what's a win? I really don't care from the left standpoint. What's a win? From the right standpoint, people are talking about getting the illegals out. How are we getting the illegals out? Like, taking ICE agents out of Minneapolis. How does this look like a win to the right? Like, and Phil, I take your point on the checkpoints, but like if you just did it once in that city and get them all out at that point.
CBP can stop people within 100 miles of the coast or any border in the U.S. That covers something like 85% of the American population, right? If you're in Chicago, you're on Lake Michigan, you're close enough where they can go ahead and pull you out of the car if they want to. So, and look, spending a lot of time on the road on tour, there have been multiple times where the CBP has pulled our bus over and like, "Hey, what's going on in here?"
Just checking to make sure you're all white. All right, have a nice day.
That's the long and short of it. Yeah, but that's a normal part of the process, or that's normal process in the United States. Having checkpoints on the road where you're stopping people, People aren't going to fall or aren't going to go for that, and that will be a win for the left because again, they're looking for that
Looks
narrative
fascist.
of
But
it's fascist. Blah
I
blah
understand,
blah.
and I agree with you, but I think there's a lot of people on the right that are saying, I wish he was like 10% of the fascist authoritarian that the left says he is.
But it's more efficient to pick up the illegal immigrants from the jails.
Because it's like a broken window system.
This is what Tom Homan wanted from the jump. Again, go back to day one of term 2 of Trump's administration. He's like, if you don't do this, then we're going to do the raids. So they did the raids in Minneapolis. Then they ended up backing down in this way. And now we're going to get the immigrants from the jails, which is what they wanted in the first place. And there's still 2,300 ICE agents to do raids. There was 80 under the Biden administration. Like, this is a huge win. Like, people should just take it. The left gets their PR win. That's also good. We need to de-escalate all the craziness that's around this immigration issue so that we don't get more people sent out to sacrifice themselves like Renee Good or what's his name, Preddy.
Yeah.
Who was not very pretty. We all saw the unedited
So
image.
They had to make him pretty.
What if we had, instead of checkpoints, government checkpoints to check and see if you're legal or you have right think?
I love
It's
it.
just
This is
easy
gonna be
pass.
great.
So
I
it
love
doesn't,
it.
you don't have to stop. They just buzz your biometrics and they know
Oh,
are
yeah.
you thinking
That's gonna go
right
over
or are
well.
you thinking bad thoughts?
Ian, we can't
Just
even
scan
get
your
we
head.
can't even get Congress to pass a voter ID law. You think we're going to get Congress to pass a law that says everybody has to have an easy pass in their car that proves that they're a citizen?
What if they just scan
Hell
your
no.
license,
Hell
your
no.
new license
But
that has
you're-
all your data on the
again,
chip?
you can't even. There's arguments against getting voter ID. Any kind of ID stuff is not happening because
Real ID, man.
We can't get.
Just stop people. Ask them to
Just
name the
saying
first
stuff
10
like that doesn't
presidents.
change the fundamental part of my argument, which is we cannot get Congress to pass a voter ID law.
True.
Any laws about ID or any kind of RF thing for your car, that's not happening.
I didn't say pass a law.
True, and would that be a slippery slope to like something like a vaccine pass?
Yeah,
No,
so
listen,
that's why
listen,
I'm heavily sarcastic.
Yeah.
If you
I'm
didn't
gonna
know,
play-
don't do what I'm saying.
Ian's being
Don't do that.
sarcastic.
I'm gonna do the hypothetical because Tim has been saying this, all last week. Like the right doesn't know how to play the left's games, right? Where is the right coalition out there with checkpoints, checking people's IDs, and if they are illegal, handing them over to ICE? Like, this is the point I'm making. Is like the left is so much more efficient at doing the things that the right actually wants.
But efficiency isn't always good. Like the Nazis were efficient at what they were doing.
And well dressed.
Okay, well we'll get into that in the
My
member
friends just say,
show.
we'll be efficient,
Ian,
like the
yeah.
Germans. I'm like, haha.
I'm just saying,
please.
but it's just crazy because the right can't play the games that the left play.
Well, it's also like the immigration issue is also a legal immigration issue that I think we need to address because I'm so sick of these legal immigrants like always talking about how they did it the right way. Like we don't want a bunch of people in our country that are just good at paperwork. Like that's so annoying. Like honestly, I'd rather have renegade Somalis that are marrying their brother in this country
Wow.
because they're real rebels and that's how they get into this nation. That's the foundation of this nation instead of all these nerds and geeks that are like, oh, I filed the paperwork
So
correctly.
you
That's a
want more
hot
literal
take. That's a
retards
hot
with
take.
68
I'm
IQ
just-
coming in?
Listen, like they can't spell learning, but you know what? They can sure scam the Minnesota taxpayer.
And they're
that's
not even doing,
ingenuity.
they're not doing their own paperwork.
No, there's a whole administration that's going to help them. And
Right.
Sean, to your point about the left and the right, part of the reason why the right can't use the same tactics that the left can use is because the right doesn't have the same goals, right? You can't just be like, well, they're effective and they're going this way, so we're going to do the same thing to get to this other place. You have a different goal in mind, so you can't use the same tactics. Like if you're like if one person's going to McDonald's and the other person's going to Burger King, and you're just like, we're going to go to McDonald's, we're just going to take the shorter route. And you're not going to end up where you want to be.
Right, but the goal is to get the illegals out, and
the
I mean,
legals.
Yeah, that's why.
Especially the ones that talk
and
about
the
paperwork.
legals, and the legals.
But to your point, the goal is to get the illegals out. That's why things like the $2,600 self-deportation stuff, buying them a ticket. You should go after the people that employ them. You should make that. You should go after people that rent to illegals. Those kind of things are actually effective because you want to make it as difficult for them to live here as possible. That's way more effective than trying to go out and check people's papers.
Right.
Make it hard for them to exist in the society. That'll get people to leave. Making it, putting up checkpoints and trying to go door to door and be like, hey, are you illegal? That's just going to give more fuel to the left, and it's going to have people say, no, I can't deal with this anymore, because people are already a little bit squishy on getting rid of them. And this is a 75% issue. Like 75% of America want illegal aliens to leave. They want them out. They want them deported. If you go ahead and start knocking on doors and saying, look, we want to check to make sure everybody's here, you're going to see that 75% drop down to 25%.
Yeah, and I'm with you. I think you've made this point many times as far as going after the people that are employing the illegals. I agree 100%, but I don't think arresting them is the answer. I think those that are employing illegal immigrants should also be deported to those countries that they are employing the illegal
Just
immigrants.
take their property.
So
Just take their
take their
business.
property and send them to Somalia.
You
like,
can't,
you
but-
want to shut it down, like, that's a real punishment.
I've
Like,
been
going to
looking
jail,
at
it's like,
your
oh, I'm going to
lesson.
get bailed out. But if you get sent to Somalia,
No. I mean, you can go to prison, not jail, and there's a difference.
Fair.
But
You can
like
still get bailed
losing
out.
the business, right? So you've got a trucking business, and you've got $20 million worth of equipment that you own, and you own a building, and blah blah blah. If you hire illegals, then you lose your business.
Yes.
That will be the strongest disincentive that I can think of.
yeah, I just don't think jail's painful enough, especially for the business owners that are doing this, because they know they're hiring illegals.
Jail's not, prison is. Jail's less than a year. You send someone up, you put someone up the river for a decade, and that'll change minds real quick.
You send them to Somalia.
We don't need to destroy the productive capacity of people who run businesses. If you hire illegals, then what you should do is face fines and whatnot. And by the way, you should also be fined the difference between whatever wage you're paying them and the standard wage for an American. You want to remove the financial incentive for people to do this. Also, like, we can do e-verified. Like, that's a system that you put in place that you can try to, like, weed some of this stuff out. Like, it's not that, it doesn't have to be that crazy that you're sending, like, people over to Somalia.
I'm just saying, you do it once or twice.
We know what you're
you
saying.
know, a business owner like gets kicked out and sent to Thailand or Mexico or whatever, and they have to live there for the rest of their life.
This is all going to be fixed in 5 years anyways, because Optimus is going to be available for $25,000, $30,000, and that's cheaper than any you can pay any illegal anyways.
Yeah, fair. I can't wait.
What is that, a
So when
robot?
people have the illegal
That's a Tesla
Optimus
robot.
robots is when it's the big problem.
The Tesla robot?
Is your
Oh gosh, the one that's gonna. Well, and then they show the video. Oh, it's gonna help the old people. It's gonna help the people cross the street and wipe the old people's butts. And it's like they say that, but until it like takes over.
What
I
if I
can't wait.
what if I order my Optimus from Mexico and it illegally crosses the border into the United States?
No, what I actually thought
Just
would
serve
be
me dinner.
better is like giving the Optimus robots full citizenship while like deporting all the illegals out at the same time. And
That's
they're like
like-
at the border
Or like
crying.
an Optimus mariachi band, and they don't know when to stop playing.
Hey, yeah, fair. I
that's a
can't
good
wait
one.
for the robots, Ian. I know
Robot
you're
music.
making jokes,
No,
but
I'm really looking forward to
I
the
can't
robots.
wait.
Really?
I can't wait.
Because you're gonna like speak their language
Yeah.
and befriend them.
I'm going to plug in and command them, yeah.
Yeah.
But the danger of one of them going rogue and killing a bunch of people is so prevalent. Like,
No.
How could you trust your little baby around a robot nanny that has
You can't even trust
connected
them
to the
around a
internet?
dog.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying, like, the robots, we're not going to need Homan. We're not going to need Border Patrol in Minneapolis. We're not going to need, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the
Like,
robots will know what to do.
Scan their
Exactly.
23andMe DNA from a distance with like a sonar or like these Doppler radar tech that they use to
The
scan
robots are gonna
underground.
be like, "Boop," measuring head circumference.
There's
You are
already
Somalian.
look, there's already 1.1 million Teslas with full self-driving on the road today. Robots are not going to just take over because if they were going to just start killing people, you'd have already seen it with the Teslas that can drive.
Yep.
Because those are robots. Don't make any mistake about it. Like a full self-driving Tesla is a robot.
But it only takes 2 robots, like 2 androids, to like wipe out almost all of humanity. Then we have to send somebody back in time.
Why? Oh,
Like, it's like a whole thing to deal with it.
Yeah,
so,
but
it takes
can't
one
wait.
really good AI. Skynet was one really good AI.
was it
Schwarzenegger
Directive-
will be naked.
There was a Directive 55 where the Emperor issues all the Sith
Order
to turn.
66.
execute
Order 66 when that happens with all the robots and they're like Order 66 and that's what they'll call it because these people are psychopaths.
But
And then
those were
they'll all
clones. Those were clones.
Okay, then we're gonna be all right.
Yeah.
Same thing.
No, they're not.
You could clone yourself.
Okay,
I think.
nerds.
When you clone, you take the nucleus out of a cell and then you inject the cloned nucleus into it.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.